Good morning, good morning. It has been a while since I've been on an early morning. I don't do much early morning stuff on Instagram, but I figured I was up early. The roads are still kind of so why not do a morning yoga? So we're gonna do just 3 moves for a nice early morning yin, which I love yin. It's one of my favorite styles of yoga, and basically it's just about, and it's really nice to do if you haven't worked out yet, so that you can get the time to really stretch and work into your deep tissues and your fascia and really lengthen the body and breathe into the body as we get settled into cozy poses. For yin, it can really be held, I think, if you're just practicing in beginning, you may want to work with maybe, 30 seconds to a minute for your holding poses, and then as you get more comfortable and you grow in yin yoga, some people I've heard, will keep the same pose for up to 5 minutes. So we're just going to do a nice yin yoga to start. So we're just going to do a few moves just to get comfortable and to share something with you this morning. So like I said, if you have a mat, that's great. If you don't have a mat, you don't have to have a yoga mat. For yin, you could also, I've done it where I've had like a really comfy blanket. Some people like to do it on the bed, just to have that comfort underneath their body as they go into poses. All 3 poses will pretty much be on the floor, and we're just going to start nice and easing into position. So we'll start with, just like I said, we'll just do a few poses, and we'll just start with pose 1, where you're going to want to start, like I said, if you have a yoga mat or not, doesn't matter, you could do this on your carpet if you want. So we're just going to start with a nice wide leg stance into a forward fold to begin, and we really just want to, like I said, your muscles are cold, they haven't warmed up yet, so you may feel a little stiff to start. That's okay. So that's why we're just going to start and ease into it with a nice kind of full body stretch here, so you can have your feet relaxed or neutral, or you can flex the toes forward if that helps you, or flex them back if that helps you. And then I know I don't want my feet like just fully staring into a camera full of foot. And then you don't have to be that wide yet. As you grow into pose and you deepen and lengthen into position, your body will just kind of naturally open up. So then you may notice that your stance get a little wider, or that you fold forward a bit easier. So we're just going to take it nice and easy to start. Just focus on coming into center, coming into breath, relaxing shoulders and postures. And here, I don't want you hunched up. I want you to really think about moving, when we go into really this or any forward fold, kind of hinging from the waist and forward folding from the upper body, like the waist, hips up and over, so we can kind of get into that and level out and focus on our breathing while we go into position. You can just simply crawl out forward. So we'll just take getting settled into pose, getting settled into position. I'm just going to crawl the hands out just for a nice warm up. And so you don't have to get that deep. I just want you to really focus on lifting and folding forward from the upper body, from the hips and waist up. And this will be just a nice warm up pose to get settled in. Start to open up the body. Really try not to hunch your back, coming down onto the floor. This will help you for poses like when you go into dolphin pose, or when you're going into poses like scorpion, which I posted yesterday, or going from downward dog onto form. So it's a nice variation of stretch. And then once you get settled in and get comfy, don't think that you can't move. You can totally move into position and kind of wiggle and relax as you need. But then just kind of allow the body to get heavy, get comfortable, and get grounded. I won't stay the whole 5 minutes in a pose, so we'll get up before that. So this is more as a guide. That you can feel, if it feels right for you to stay in a pose longer, please feel free to do so. deep and breathe into the pose. Get really comfortable in your wide leg forward fold. Gently start to release, walking nice and slow, walking the hands back to center. Just gently rolling up that spine, lifting the head. And then we'll go into pose number 2. So I like to do poses that kind of help to open the body. So if we're going front to back or side to side, it's nice to take both of those into consideration. So since we opened up the legs nice and wide to start, we're going to want to bring them in nice and easy, coming into a nice seated easy pose, and we're going to go into a nice supine twist for pose number 2. And another nice thing when you're doing Yin Yoga is when, so you can fully relax into pose and position depending on the time limit that you have. Sometimes it's nice to have a timer, or using a timer or whatnot on your computer or your phone, so that you don't have to worry about the time and how long am I in this. Just set like something nice and calming that can ring you, not like something that's going to alert you, just something that can gently bring you back into that awareness and tell you like, hey, you're done with this pose, or you can move into the next position. So we're going to start in pose number 2. It's a really nice one just to help, now that we've kind of opened up that lower body, we want to get a little movement through the upper body. So we'll take arms out to sides, palms facing up, raise up nice and slow. Take a nice deep breath on the inhale, up, and palms together, exhale out. And then we're going to go ahead, palms out to sides, raising up. And we're going to do a nice twist. I'll be opposite of you. I'm going to twist to the right, nice and gentle. Drop my arms down, dropping my left hand outside of my right thigh. Maybe take my vision towards the back. And hold here and just breathe. And as you go into your supine twist variation, just breathe through it, maybe getting a little bit deeper in that twist with each breath. You can always let your back hand come down fully, so that you're really getting a nice stretch in the supine twist. And then when you're ready to release, you can gently come back forward. And go ahead, take arms out to sides again. Inhale up. And this time we're going to twist to the left. Exhaling out. And you'll be opposite of me. And then you'll take that left hand outside of that, or that right hand outside of that left thigh. And once again, your back hand can just go flat. I'm sure you can hear them. The salt trucks are here this morning. How nice. And once again, you can always take your vision towards the back behind you. And just get a nice stretch and supine twist. And once again, just remembering to breathe. And breathing through, opening up that chest, keeping in good posture, keeping those shoulders down. And when you feel ready, gently releasing back to center. You should feel that nice spinal twist, kind of lengthening the arms, really stretching out that spine. And even, like, I did some work and some inversions yesterday, so I could feel that through my arms. So we're gonna go through one more pose for this morning for Yin. And like I said, if you feel comfortable and you're finding comfort in those positions, so maybe you are still in the first pose and you're just following and listening to my voice, that's totally fine. Stay in the pose as long as it feels good, as long as it, you know, feels comfortable and you're finding the right adjustments for yourself. This can be more as a guide, and then you just have these poses for, oh, that morning thought, like I'll try that and get a nice deep stretch. And then what's nice too is to follow up with the Yin Yoga, with if you want to go into and you have more time into another moving meditation. It's always nice to flow a little bit through vinyasa poses, maybe to awaken going into mountain and warrior poses and forward folds, and then standing forward folds, and then going down into coming that calm down of just moving into like a sitting or shavasana meditation, or just taking a moment for your breath and body to align after. So those are just some ideas that you can follow up these poses with, and it could just be, you know, just 2 to 3 vinyasa or poses and positions that you just flow through. Maybe getting up into standing and moving through warrior and then reverse warrior, or whatever feels good for you, and then moving into like a nice settle standing or laying down or whatnot meditation. So it's a nice way to get the day started if you have time. So we're going to go into pose number 3, which is going to be great. And I actually was kind of thinking, like, what should we do? So let's go into another nice one that kind of just starts to lengthen out the body. I don't like my feet being in your face, so so we're going to start, and we're actually just going to come back to that center since it'll be our last pose. This is a nice one to go with. We're going to go into a nice bound angle. So you would start maybe in butterfly, and you just bring the legs out. You'll have the bottoms of your feet coming together, and you're going to really just let your knees be heavy, so that when you're coming into these poses, you may or may not feel something at first, but as you lay in them and as you start to really open up your body and your muscles really start to stretch, you might feel something later in the pose or even after, later on in your day. But we're gonna, this is a nice pose too, because you can bring your feet together, and if you want, you can give yourself like a nice little foot massage, which is like always amazing because our feet do so much work for us, so it's nice to offer them a little massage here. And then when you're feeling good and ready and you'd like to get in a comfortable place, you have so many options with bound angle. I love showing different options and variations. You can do this one with the support of a chair or blankets, where you can do it laying down, and you can have blankets underneath your lower back, or laying down and then have your feet at an angle on the chair. We do that in my restorative class. Or you can take the legs out really as wide and as comfortable as you'd like. If you want to focus on really dropping those knees down a bit further, you can always apply a little pressure on them from the arms. It's because you're going to go back in that forward fold variation if you choose. Or maybe you want to work on dropping those shoulders down, getting in good posture with that back, that tailbone that tail kind of points out a little bit. And then you just kind of crawl forward and you work on that posture of just letting the knees open. Or you can go into a full, they call it turtle shell, and there are many variations of this pose too. I find it easy for me to, after I bring my feet together, I like to crawl my hands underneath the legs, and that's where that forearm variation comes in again. So if you warmed up with the forearm variation of the wide leg forward fold that I started with, this is a pose that it actually helps you with that. So you just take it, you're on your forearms, and you're coming, kind of just snake into that position, and then your back kind of hunches into a nice turtle shell kind of theme. And it's really nice also because you are also stretching the full body. Again, you're stretching that spine, you're stretching those hips open, you're putting pressure to open those legs. And you could also just do it where you have your hands wrapped around your toes and your arms are also in diamond form. So whichever variation feels good for you and whatever feels good for the body, do that. I'm going to go into get adjusted into my nice turtle variation. I just drop down on those forearms and adjust as needed. Don't think you can't move. You can totally move and adjust as needed. And then when you find what position works well for you, just drop those shoulders back, let go with your breath and just let the head kind of move forward, dive forward. Remember to, check in with the body, release any tension that you may have within the jaw or the shoulders or the hips. And gently, if you are feeling ready, to gently open up the body again. Releasing the arms, raising up from position. Releasing the feet out nice and straight. Maybe give those legs a little wiggle. Maybe bring knees into chest, giving yourself some self-love. Or maybe taking arms back and dropping down for some windshield wipers. Just to get some movement going after these nice poses. And then when you're ready, we'll just come back into position. Or if you're feeling good and you're still in the bound angle variation, feel free to stay there. This is your time, of course. You know how much time you have. If you have another phone near you or another laptop to time it so you know, when you need to get moving and grooving, feel free to do so. And then you can use these as a guide if you want to check out the other moves. But otherwise, thank you for joining me this morning for this 3 moves for morning Yin Yoga. Just a wonderful, nice, gentle way to start to awaken the body if you have the moment this morning in time. And then, like I said, if you still feel like you have a little bit more energy that you need to get out, it's always nice to start with the Yin and then move into a nice moving meditation with some vinyasa poses. And then if you feel, settled, and then moving into just a gentle meditation. So those are always things too that you can check out my page for, or my YouTube, Prasarita Smiles, or just, Google. So there's that too. So good morning to all of you who joined me. Hello. And I hope all of you are well, and stay well and warm if you are somewhere cold this morning. And I'll be in touch soon. Take care.